long time ago, there lived a man called Ameichi. Over his lifetime, Ameichi was able to save a large sum of money, but as he had for a very long time known the heavy burden of poverty, and fearing he might lose his fortune to the fickle winds of chance. So one night, Ameichi carried all his money out to the city and buried it under a tree. After some time had passed, he began to miss the presence of his buried treasure and went to the tree so he might refresh his eyes with the sight of it. But when he dug the ground at the foot of the tree, he discovered that the buried treasure was gone. Suddenly, the happiness of the morning plunged into an evening of bitterness and disappointment. Ashamed, he didn't know what friend in whom to confide his loss. Each day, the emptiness of his heart and his future one day only he went about his business and ran into a wise man in the city who said to him, "I have for several days noticed a sad change in your head, my friend. I do not know the cause, nor do I know what thorn of misfortune has pierced your heart." Ameichi wept tears of sadness. He replied, "Oh, it is the treasure of fortune. Indeed, I carry a heavy heart and a great sorrow. Yet, if I reveal it to you, it will probably be of no use and might even plunge you into grief as well." The wise man said, "Since the heart of gold, friends are like looking glasses, giving and taking secrets with each other. It is at all times necessary that they should tell each other any trouble they may fall into, so that together they can take whatever steps are needed." Ameichi sighed. "Dear friend, I had some gold. It was my life savings. Fearing that it could be stolen, I carried it into a certain place and buried it under a tree, and when next I visited, it was gone." The wise man was alarmed. "Truly, I am sorry. Indeed, this is a serious dilemma." He paused. "And I'm afraid it may be difficult to get on the track of your goal. Tell me, my friend, could it be that you were seen by a person when you were burying the treasure?" "I'm quite sure." Ameichi sadly shook his head that no one saw him. "Or perhaps," said the wise man, "in the days after you buried your treasure, someone walking by may have noticed something different about the soil and wondered what could have been freshly planted there. Don't you think so?" But I was so careful," mourned the unhappy man. "I covered the hole with same soil so well that no one could know but me that anything had been planted or even disturbed." Was there anything left behind? Perhaps a scrap of cloth or something giving you a clue of who may have been there?" "No, not a thing." Ameichi choked back his grief. The friend said softly, "I can't imagine you have any enemies or anyone who seek to do you harm. Nor can I." "Me too," Ameichi cried in despair. "And besides, no one even knew that I had it." "Well, then, friend," said the learned man, "give me 10 days to meditate on the situation. It may be that something new and important will occur to me." So the wise man sat down for 10 days to meditate on the situation. But after turning over and over every possibility he could possibly imagine, he could devise no plan. On the 10th day, they met on the street, and he said with sorrow to Ameichi,
"Although I have plugged and searched the depths of my mind delightfully for 10 days, I have been unable to take a hold of the precious pearl of a wise plan. Alas, I can only hope that someday someone you will be good to will compensate you for your treasure."
They were deep in a big conversation when a madman met them on the street and asked, "My boys, what is all your secret money about?"
The wise man turned to Ameichi. "Come, let us relate our case to this crazy fellow and see whether some flower will bloom in his mind."
Ameichi turned and said, Dear friend, when you, with all your knowledge and wisdom, could not devise a plan after 10 days, meditation, how can we expect any help from these unfortunates who doesn't even know if it's day or night?" So the wise man smiled and said,
"There is no telling what he might say to us, but you are aware that the most foolish as well as the wisest have ideas. And a remark, uttered perhaps at random, often furnishes a clue by which the desired end can be attained."
Meanwhile, a little boy had noticed the crazy fellow. Stopping to observe his antics, the boy approached the group. So, the two friends explained their case to the madman. After being immersed in thought for some time, he remarked, "He who took the roots, that tree for a medicine, also took the gold." And then, turning his back to them and went on his way. So, they consulted with each other as to the meaning of the crazy man's observation. When the little boy asked what kind of a tree it was, Ameichi replied that it was a jubidi tree. Then said the boy, "This is a simple enough matter. Ask all the doctors in the city what patient they prescribed as medicine the roots of the jubiju tree." The wise man was impressed with the boy's sharp mind and also the crazy man's lucky thought. Being very well acquainted with all the physicians of the city, he made inquiries till he was told by one of the native doctors that about 20 days before he had prescribed a remedy for a merchant named Keke who suffered from asthma, a medicine that could only be derived from the root of the jubiju tree. The wise man discovered where the merchant lived, went to his house, and thus addressed him.
Keke, thank goodness you have recovered from your hurts, and you ought to restore what you found at the foot of the jubiju tree, because the owner of it is a worthy man, and it was his only possession."
So the honest merchant replied, "It is true, I have found it, and it is with me. If you will tell me the amount of gold, and I will deliver it into your hands." And thus Ameichi's lost treasure was restored.